Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a YouTube hop with the rest of the team from A Cherry on Top. And the month of June, our theme is our favorite things. So please hop along with everyone that's listed down below in the description box. I have tons of inspiration, such good projects. And I think I was already seeing some of them are like 12 by 12 projects, layouts and such. I am going to be doing a double page 6 by 8 for my album. If you follow my channel regularly, you know that I kind of like the 6 by 8 size. It's easy to keep up with, and I actually have a particular one that's all about me. So since this is all about favorite things, I thought I'd do like my top 10 favorite things. So when I was thumbing through my collections, the collection by Simple Story called True Colors has this foam thicker piece that says all about me and my story. So once I found that, I just wanted to stem everything around that sentiment. And in order to fit it into the 6 by 8 format, I am either, so we're going to, do this together. I am either doing it on a white cardstock background and having an overlay. So I did all my journaling and having that title piece sort of be right up here of it. And then we're going to do like a 10 2x3 collages on this. So all that we're going to figure out together is assembling this so that it's an overlay, so that it's a page in the middle. And I did this journaling by just doing a text box by measuring the spot I needed to. So it was 5 inches across and 5.5 down. So that way I knew once I cut it to be over this with, you can see how I lined it up right around there. And then it would have the title piece up there sitting quite nicely. And then I would have all of the rest of the photos that I have done photo collages. So I have 3 sheets of 4x6 that I have already printed. And I scrolled through my phone to go over like the top 10. So it's 2 extra photos that I need. So I'm just going to see which one works better with the colors once they start coming together. I haven't decided if I want a white background or these pieces of pattern paper here are also from the True Colors collection. So I do like the star one. So I needed both sheets in order to have it. So we might audition this out. And then on the cut apart sheet, I do like this sentiment that says this is me. And then this is my story is also something that we may use. So it should come together rather easily and quickly. We will do it together, and that way this little double page spread will go in that album. And it's kind of like I said, top 10 things that I like. And just so that, well, I'll go over it probably in the over speaking. But we talked about my favorite drink, my favorite holiday, my favorite hobbies, my favorite sweet dessert, activities to do, and my family and things like that. So we'll get started right now, and like I said, I'll leave everyone in the hop down below, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So I already pre-cut the white papers to be 7 by 8.25, which is a size that's outside the page protector for 6 by 8. So I had those because I thought I just wanted to do it on white cardstock. But before I do that, let's cut down all of my photos. I told you I did like a 4 photo collage on a 4x6 printer. I send those to print on my Epson PictureMate that I have here in my craft room. And I did my journaling, obviously pre-coming onto film, knowing that I was going to do kind of like your top 10 favorite things. So I had, I told you the text box ready to go, and I knew I was going to put the title above it, and it fit just perfectly. Now don't get me wrong, I wish I would have scooted it down a little bit more on the top, from the top of the page, but it worked out just fine the way it did as well. But if you're doing this, just scooch it down a little bit, that way you won't have kind of, not to say it's off, it's just a little bit tight at the top, and I still have like an inch of room at the bottom is the only thing I would complain about on the execution of this. So it's an overlay, that way it was better to do it that way, or you can just make it a cardstock page, or white cardstock would have worked too. But I kind of just like having like the text being on top, meaning that it's like almost like the in-between page for it. Because don't get me wrong, if you did it maybe even as a half sheet, that could have also worked, knowing that it would be just like an insert in between both of these pages. And so I was getting my pictures in order on the list that I had, so the way I wrote them up. So I wanted 1 through 5 on the left, and 6 through 10 on the right. And when I was doing this, I was like, do I want it on the pink? Do I want it on the white? And with the overlay side, I was like, I really like it on the white because it's not as busy if I had the overlay over the pink paper. So that's what I'm kind of auditioning. But then I had a thought. I was like, oh, let me do the pink paper on the left side and keep it white on the right. And that way I get the best of both worlds. Haha. That I was sold. So this is me cutting it down. I was like, I'm going to have one side be the pink and the side on the right be the white, and that way it won't be too busy and lost if it was over the pink. And that worked out perfectly. So this is kind of the joy of doing it on 6x8, let's be honest, because it's kind of like always doing a double page layout with the freedom to do things like this. If you are new to my channel, I do 6x8 rather often because I like having like a large photo with a pocket page on the other side, but once in a while I do lean myself. And I know I've done other videos for Cherry on Top with me doing either 2x2 squares or scrapbooking as if it was like a normal 12x12. Sometimes I don't have the time anymore to do a 12x12 because those, you know, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into 12x12s, and sometimes it's like a good hour of work, and sometimes you just don't have an hour every day to do. So if I'm able to keep my storytelling current, 6x8 has really been a money size for me, at least in my storytelling. So I like the way everything's going. And so I cut out the two pieces from the cut apart page. So the This Is Me is from a 3x4. And then on the other side, it says The Story of Me was also in a 3x4. I think I was fussy cutting it out a little off the screen where you see. And then these pieces will be added onto some fun foam so that they are dimensional. And the rest will stay all flat in my execution of this layout. What I'm also doing probably underneath the page, which is slightly off camera, I apologize. I probably had too much of my top of my table where I wasn't working and you can't see it. But in essence, I am making a flap for this bottom left corner of the pink sheet. It's the crafting avenue I wrote about. Like, I like crafting. I like that I show my daughter crafting, and I have my YouTube channel. So in essence, I have 3 photos. So I'm making a flip up. And I'm using just probably a piece of vellum from this cut off, and having that be the hinge. And I was figuring out a little tab, which is just the scraps. So those yellow scraps you see on the left side, I think I make one of them into a little like tab between the photos as I was adhering them, so that hopefully it would indicate or lend itself to a flip up area. And I think it worked out really well. So I'm sorry that part was done off the screen. My camera footage. My camera was leaning a little bit too high on my overhead, and I do apologize. Usually I'm more aware of it. So as I am doing, this is the fun foam part. So some of the top 10 things I went over was like my drink of choice, which is coffee, talking about my little family, how I always love and will love anything flowers. So flower paintings, planting flowers, buying flowers, you know, flower print tops. I wrote all the things flowers. Like, even my friends and family know, like, if there's a flower print, you know, birthday card, get the flower printed birthday card. Like, I am a flower child through and through. Then I talked about crafting, scrapbooking, and my YouTube channel. Then I talked about my dogs, reading, going outside with my daughter. So we talked about going to the park, going to the pool, going to all those things. Talked about loving hanging out with my daughter, and then I talked about my favorite holidays, Christmas, and then also that I love ice cream is my favorite sweet treat. So once all of those are adhered down, all I'm doing is taking the sticker book and adding a few embellishments. A few of the flowers were also from the die cut pack. Some of the clusters were just too big for how close and how many photos I was trying to have on both these layouts, but it lended itself to being perfect. So I did a little camera roll, and then I added a few little sentiments from the sticker book as well, just keeping it a little bit simple since I do have a lot of photos. I didn't want to make it too busy, and I think having it one side pattern paper and one side on white cardstock really did the trick for this layout. Okay, that will complete this project. So this is the overlay for this side when it's in the binder. We added a few of those little mementos from the sticker book collection, even in here. This is the only flip up one because I had so much to say about the crafting and the scrapbooking. And then on this side as well, these 2 pieces are up on fun foam, and a few little elements that are scattered throughout as well. What this will be now is in this album, like I said, the 6x8. And then I'll flip it probably all the way to the back. Right, and then, so I'm already here. This will go here. This will be here. And here. Okay, just like that. And I hope you liked what I also figured out there, because I did the pattern paper on this side to keep this side a little bit more easier on the eye when you try to read the vellum, instead of having the busy paper there was the thought process behind there, and then having this one here. So top 10 favorite things, all about me. So fun. I hope you follow along. Like I mentioned, everything will be linked down below. I will also leave the link to the supplies I use for this kit from Simple Stories. It's called True Colors. It's very fun, very bright and colorful. I have more of the collection to play with, so we'll be having more projects coming with that collection. As always, thank you for joining me. Give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and until next time, everyone, bye.